If it's one thing about me that's consistent, my podcast doesn't inspire me, I'm gonna change it. One thing I love to do, if I know for a fact that I'm going to use something that I've seen a creator, doesn't matter how long I've been following them, but I try to give creators that I like and enjoy the most play as far as this is concerned. But if it's something I'm getting ready to buy on Amazon and I know I haven't maybe clicked on one of their links in a while, I'll go to their channel, look for a link for Amazon, and then I'll support them that way. Or in this case, where I'm getting ready to go and rebrand the podcast intro and outro, and I found this specific song on Artlist that I'm going to be using. I already know one of my favorite creators, which is Anthony Lapani, which you can't see, but I'm going to go and click on one of his links to support him, so that even like it at least shows the traction and that his videos contributed to a sale. Because that's one of the things, like as a content creator, that you notice that you will go and do something or have need for something, and in your haste you don't go support somebody else. But when it's you, on the other hand, you're like, man, why aren't people clicking? Or, and I wish more people clicked, or whatever the case would be. And so I try to always find somebody's link, or even if I can't find somebody's link, I'll go ask a friend, like put a link in your description in a video or something, let me support you because I've heard you talk about this thing, but you didn't create a link anywhere for it. So that way they can start doing it. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll do that for people that are in my community. They're commenting a lot, and I'll see, like after I've reviewed or checked out a video or something like that based on a comment that they've left, then I'll go to their channel and click on the link, and I'll make a purchase through that way. So I'm always trying to find a way to support my fellow creators. Just something I thought I'd share with you, because I think more people should be doing that. Now I have to script out what the new intro is going to be, because one of the things that I really enjoyed about the other podcast was what I was saying, like it resonated, and that podcast branding is 2019, which is nothing wrong with keeping the same branding, but I just like the podcast evolves with me, and that was very unique to that time. That was just quitting my job. That was on the drive home from the Copywriting Academy Ray Edwards event that I went to. And I was like in my spirit, because I drove there. It's not that far, like it was in Franklin, Tennessee. I drove there in my car, and like I had this revelation of what the podcast was going to become. And that intro matched that time. And now it matches a whole other evolution, not just of the who I am, but what I want this podcast to be. Even like Ray's rebranded his. He rebranded his to the Ray Edwards Show. I've seen other people rebrand theirs to their name. But what is core and just central to my essence is the video simplified brand. And because of that, and the what like I was praying about and just arguing and wrestling with God last night about, not even last night, yesterday about, and just the what is on my heart now and what is it to become. And this is one of those clarity points of it's time to rebirth the podcast. Everything in me honestly is saying to put it back on the main channel. And my current frustration with that is twofold. One part of me wants to put the podcast on the main channel so that no matter what, everything is there. It is exactly like I wanted it to be back in the day, which was the hub of essentially everything video simplified. Now the problem with that is the way that YouTube has stuff set up now, all of your main videos, all of your shorts, all of your any things that you put on the channel, where it's the tab that says content, is filled and littered with a bunch of stuff that is hard to segment out unless you specifically title it that way. But the amount of content that is going to drown, it feels like the other, is why I don't want to put it on the main channel. But so that when somebody says, when I tell somebody come find my YouTube channel, I want them to be thinking about one channel, not here's the regular channel for this kind of content, here's this channel for the podcast, and then you can come over here if you want to hang and just watch me document and share my journey and what the experience is. The problem with that is, I know I personally would hate that. Like, why not just have everything? Like, as a viewer, I don't want to bounce around to over here and over there. I'm cool with the main channel content and then the vlog channel. because like this, I want it to have nothing to do with the main channel in the sense of what I want it to become. I just literally want it to only be the documentation of my journey, what those experiences and stuff has been. I don't want to have to feel like I have to teach, or it has to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, the core value is that I am living a lifestyle that I thought would be 15 or 20 years away from the days that I was sitting in the cubicle, and having the day that I quit on camera, having the days following up to the events, having the stuff that I'm telling you about at the Copywriting Academy event, when I first finally got to meet Ray in person. And he gave me the most loving hug. And I felt bad because my hair was wet. It was short and curly or whatever. And I had just put whatever hair product in. And so I didn't have time for my hair to dry. So it was a little wet. So I know he got like some juice, a little soul glow, you know. But and it was such a loving memory. And I remember turning around at my table. I'm sitting in the VIP section. And next to me is Cliff Ravenscraft. And I remember having conversations with Cliff that were just so wonderful and loving and meaningful, and it meant a lot to me to have that stuff on camera. I don't want to have to feel like a viewer in a sense has to get value. You know what I'm saying? I want not like it. I am the viewer. The value is because of what I'm doing, and it's a very righteously selfish proposition. And if somebody wants to see what the experience has been like and what the journey of doing stuff like this looks like, it's up to them to determine what the value is going to be at that point. Not that there won't be valuable things, but it's just like, I'm not trying to market this in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is me. This is me. When it comes to the podcast, like, in a sense, it's like that is a form of my essence. And I would love to have that back on the main channel instead of just having it on its own channel, because in my heart, it makes more sense. And there's the hesitation of like, oh, what if it underperforms? Like, if we're being very honest, right now, the channel is not doing as well as I would love for it to do. There's been some struggles. There's been some frustrations, but this is part of the journey, the highs and the lows. And the lows don't look cute until after they've passed. And then people are like, man, how did you get through that? Or blah, blah, blah. It's few people that rock with you when you on a lower down spurt, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, because everybody wants to hop on a moving train. I'm all for that, and I get that. But when you hit a valley, at times, this is the suck part, but this is the part where like a lot happens, and you have to stay so focused on what your purposeful work and why you're doing what you're doing is during downward spirals of like, and like going up the incline. Everybody loves to see you at the top and stuff, but the stories of the how you made it through don't sound cute, don't sound inspiring until after you've lived it. The difference with this vlog and stuff is capturing and documenting those moments. So the next time it's another huge high or the next time it's another huge low, I remember, and I have footage, documented footage of where I was and what happened when things didn't go well, when stuff went the other way that I thought it would go. And that's all fine and dandy to an extent. But these are the days, like I have those days captured graciously and thankfully of making it through those moments. And when I put my own book together of what my journey was, it's already documented. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to wait for somebody else to tell my story. I'm telling my own story in real time. And so the value there is for me. I don't foresee myself having kids someday and grandkids and all the rest of whatever. As far as legacy living is concerned, but my legacy living, like, it starts today. Like, it is today. And I want to move the podcast channel over to the main channel so all of that can be in one spot. I hate the idea of splitting stuff up, but I understand the concept network wise because it's its own shorts too. Like, we got a mountain of content just sitting there, haven't hit publish, and I'm like, why if I'm gonna move it potentially? But the first thing I gotta do is get re-inspired with the intro, because that matters to me. Like, if it's boring, and which it has been boring, it was just kind of like a stopgap intro right now as far as the way that it is. But I want to change it. I'm going to change it. I'm changing it now. When I'm talking about video and stuff like that, I am not a filmmaker. I am not a photographer. I do not aim to be either one of those. However, I do deeply, deeply care about helping entrepreneurs simplify the video creation process to reach wider and connect deeper with the people that need them the most. So when it comes to video, That's the perspective that I'm coming from the content creating entrepreneur's perspective, why we buy these cameras, how we intend to use these cameras, and how sometimes some of the viewpoints that we see online is not the end all be all when it comes to what you buy, what you invest in, and the like. Welcome to the Video Simplified podcast, where I help you simplify the video creation process to help you reach wider and connect deeper with the people that need you the most. From learning to use your camera to simplifying video strategies to help you grow your brand and share your vision using video. So let's jump right into today's episode.